As the US-China trade war spirals completely out of control, shipping routes are collapsing, and the chaos is just getting started. Imagine ordering something online, and it never arrives. Imagine your dream car's price doubling overnight. Sounds impossible? Welcome to the harsh new reality unfolding right now. The tension between the world's two biggest economies has reached a boiling point. Right now, thousands of cargo ships are stranded at sea. Amazon sellers are panicking, and US car dealerships are facing shortages they never imagined. How did it come to this? Could this crisis crash the American economy? And more importantly, what does it mean for your daily life? Stay tuned, because what's happening behind closed doors will shock you more than you think. It all happened faster than anyone could imagine. In early 2025, after months of rising tensions, the US slapped new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, batteries, and solar tech. China didn't hold back. They hit back harder, restricting critical exports and quietly freezing major shipping lanes. Suddenly, ports like Shanghai and Ningbo, once buzzing with non-stop activity, became ghost towns for American cargo. Massive ships carrying millions of dollars in goods were either stuck offshore or rerouted to other countries. At the same time, US ports like Los Angeles and Long Beach turned into absolute chaos. Containers piled up like mountains. Trucks couldn't get goods out fast enough. Warehouse managers were overwhelmed. Panic started spreading through companies like Amazon, Walmart, and Tesla as key shipments just stopped arriving. Can you imagine an economy where basic goods vanish from shelves, not because they don't exist, but because they're trapped thousands of miles away? Experts are already calling it the Great Shipping Freeze of 2025, and it's only the beginning. But the bigger question is, if shipping stops for just a few weeks, how long before entire industries collapse? The clock is ticking, and America is running out of time. If you thought the ports freezing was bad, what happened next hit even harder. Amazon, the giant we all rely on, began quietly sending cancellation notices to thousands of sellers across the US. Items that used to arrive in 2 days? Gone. Top-selling electronics, toys, even basic household items? Vanished from the listings. Sellers were left scrambling, customers were left furious, and small businesses, already struggling, suddenly found themselves without products to sell or ship. But here's the chilling part. Amazon didn't cancel just a few random orders. Entire product categories, especially those relying on Chinese imports like electronics, auto parts, and even kitchen goods, were wiped out overnight. Could Amazon survive a shipping freeze this massive? And if the world's biggest marketplace struggles, what happens to smaller retailers? Across the country, fear began to spread. TikTok and YouTube exploded with videos of buyers warning each other about missing deliveries, fake restocks, and skyrocketing prices. People who once trusted add to cart without thinking suddenly realized they might be clicking on items that don't exist anymore. And this was just the beginning of the ripple effect. Because next, even bigger industries would be hit where it hurts most. The American car market. Just when you thought the nightmare couldn't get worse, the car industry was hit like a ton of bricks. Car prices in the US have already been climbing for months, but the shipping freeze pushed them into overdrive. With Chinese factories unable to deliver crucial parts like semiconductors, steel, and battery components, car makers like Ford, Tesla, and General Motors found themselves in a massive crunch. What happened next was nothing short of a financial shockwave. The cars Americans were used to seeing on dealership lots, from affordable sedans to high-end electric vehicles, started disappearing fast. It wasn't just a shortage, it was a pricing crisis. For the first time, US consumers were paying double the price for models that used to be within reach. How could this happen? The answer: no imports, no components, no production. US automakers scrambled to keep the wheels turning, but they were running out of options. Consumers were forced into a decision no one expected: pay crazy prices for new cars, or hold on to their old, worn-out models for years to come. And it didn't stop there. Used car prices skyrocketed too, as people desperately tried to find alternatives. But the real question is, How long can the American economy endure these insane price hikes before it all collapses? As the shipping freeze continues to strangle the economy, the pain is hitting everyday Americans like a freight train. Imagine waking up, checking your bank account, and realizing that your monthly grocery bill is now 30% higher than last month. Or think about driving to your local store, only to find that the shelves are bare. No paper towels, no basic cleaning supplies, and most shockingly, no toilet paper. For millions of families, the situation has become untenable. With imports from China halted, prices on everyday goods like electronics, clothing, and even food have soared. A simple pack of rice? It now costs 3 times what it used to. But it's not just about the price hikes. The scarcity has triggered a wave of panic buying across the country. People are hoarding basic necessities, fearing that the next time they go to the store, the shelves will be even emptier. And let's talk about the job losses. Small businesses that depended on affordable Chinese goods to stay afloat are being forced to shut down. Stores are laying off workers. The reality is harsh. The American middle class is being squeezed from all sides. Families are going without, struggling to make ends meet. What's even more terrifying is that we don't know how long this will last. The question on everyone's mind: will the average American ever recover from this devastating economic storm? The U.S.-China shipping freeze isn't just a problem for Americans. It's a global disaster waiting to unfold. Countries around the world are now feeling the domino effect of this escalating trade war. And the worst part? It's only going to get worse. China, being the world's largest manufacturer and exporter, is critical to the global supply chain. With its ports jammed and factories idled, countries from Europe to Southeast Asia are facing delays in everything from medicine to smartphones. Imagine trying to get your hands on a crucial piece of technology for work, only to find out it's stuck at a port in Shanghai for months. Meanwhile, European nations are seeing inflation spike, as they too rely heavily on cheap Chinese imports to maintain their economies. Even global giants like Apple and Samsung are beginning to feel the pressure. With key components unavailable, their production schedules are in jeopardy. And as the world waits for relief, the stock market is plummeting. Global investors are pulling their funds from industries they once trusted. But here's the ultimate question. If the world's economy is struggling to recover from a crisis sparked by this shipping disaster, will global leaders be able to turn it around before everything collapses? The dominoes have started to fall, and the rest of the world is holding its breath. The world is in chaos. The ports are frozen, economies are on the brink, and yet, who's really to blame? Is it China, with its growing list of retaliatory measures? Or perhaps it's the U.S. government, ramping up tariffs and strangling global trade? Some experts say this whole crisis could have been avoided if both sides had chosen diplomacy over escalation. But as tensions rose, leaders on both sides dug in their heels, each blaming the other for the disaster that's now unfolding. Then, there's the role of global corporations. Could they have done more to prepare for a potential supply chain breakdown? After all, companies like Amazon, Walmart, and Apple knew that China's stranglehold on manufacturing made them vulnerable to something like this. But did they act soon enough? And here's the twist. What if this isn't just a trade war between two countries? What if this whole situation was engineered by powers behind the scenes, manipulating events for their own gain? Some believe that powerful corporations and global elites, eager to profit from this chaos, helped fuel the tensions between the U.S. and China. Could this crisis have been avoided? Or is it simply the result of years of greed, neglect, and political games? One thing's for sure. As the situation escalates, the blame game continues. And the question remains, who will pay the price for this global collapse? As the storm rages on, many are left asking, is there a way out? Is there hope for recovery? Or is this the beginning of the end for global trade? Experts are divided. Some say we are heading into a long, dark tunnel, where the only way out is for both the US and China to come to the negotiating table, put their differences aside, and find a way to restore the balance. But after months of tension, can they really make peace? There's a glimmer of hope in the form of alternative supply chains. Countries like India, Vietnam, and Mexico are stepping in, offering themselves as potential replacements for Chinese manufacturing. But here's the problem. These countries can't scale up production fast enough to replace China's role in the global economy. Even if the US and China come to a trade agreement tomorrow, it could take years to recover from the damage already done. The real question is, will we bounce back at all? Some believe that the future of trade lies in self-sufficiency, countries growing their own industries, producing their own goods. But that raises another terrifying possibility. Globalization could be over, and the world will never be the same. So as we wait for answers, the question lingers. Will the recovery come in time, or are we witnessing the beginning of a new, less connected world? The US-China trade war has spiraled beyond control, leaving chaos in its wake. With shipping halted, prices soaring, and global economies teetering, the road to recovery seems uncertain. But one thing is clear: we are standing at a crossroads. Will the world rebuild, or has this crisis permanently changed the way we do business forever? Only time will tell. Stay alert, because the storm is far from over. The world is changing, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Hit that subscribe button like this video, and share it with friends who need to know what's really going on. Stay informed, stay ahead, and keep your eyes on the future.